Now, I could sit here and play gotcha all day long with the, Trump is a Russian stooge, Biden is a Russian stooge talking points, but I think it's kind of besides the point. Everything Trump did, even if he went over there and punched Vladimir Putin in the face, was pitched as, see, Donald Trump is secretly a stooge for Russia. And everything Joe Biden did is, the adults are back at the table. Well, let's really look at the fruit of that for a second, given the whole Ukraine brouhaha going on right now. When Joe Biden gave the Russians the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, what he basically did was empower the Russians and weaken Europe, especially Ukraine. Basically, he took one of our own bartering chips away and handed it to Russia. Now, I don't know why he did that. I don't know what the thinking on it was. Maybe it was, we're going to cut our own nuts off and give them to Russia, because that's generally what that is. When you cancel out your own energy independence actively and intentionally, and hand energy independence or steps towards energy independence to your mortal enemy, Russia. And then you got Joe Biden on this phone call last Tuesday where, let's face it, if you're going to have someone talk to Vladimir Putin is a lot of things. What he's not is a dumbass, all right? And if you're going to talk with Vladimir Putin, I think the last person you want on the other end of that phone is an abject, bumbling idiot who can't string a sentence together to save his life, or remember where he is, or what year it is, or how many grandkids he has. It's probably not going to work out well. And now the rumors are flying that we're basically going to cede eastern Ukraine to the Russians, because that worked pretty well in the past with just giving places to certain dictators who are trying to take over, right? Well, I got news for you. If appeasement is the course, and you think appeasement is going to work, you're an ahistorical idiot. Fact. And I got more news for you. If you think China and Iran aren't watching exactly what we're doing, if you think they're not thinking to themselves and saying to their neighbors who they threaten, Pakistan, India, Taiwan, all these other countries, if you think that they're not saying to these countries, an American guarantee of security means nothing, they're not going to protect you, you're an idiot. Because that's exactly what the fuck they're saying. That's exactly what the fuck they're thinking. And depending on the fruit of this Ukraine issue, it will solidify what they're thinking or not. Now, the number one manufacturer of microchips in the world that we use for 80% of the goods we have today is Taiwan. The second largest manufacturer of those chips is China. So if you think the acquisition of Taiwan by the People's Democratic Republic of fucking China, or the CCP, or whatever the fuck you want to call them these days, the Communist Party in China, if you think that's not going to bode poorly for the Western world, again, you're an idiot. It is. It's going to bode really bad for the Western world. It's going to bode really bad for stability, too. Because, you really got to look at, say, for example, China does take Taiwan. How do you think that's going to make Japan feel? Because Japan and China have been mortal enemies since before World War II. China hates Japan, and Japan is afraid of China. And the only reason Japan doesn't have a massive military or a military-industrial complex is because we've hindered them with that. But if we don't have power anymore, we're not perceived as being the big stick on stage, well, then there's nothing to stop Japan from going ahead and building a nuclear arsenal to defend themselves from China. And if you don't think they'll do that, again, you're an idiot. So now you have a nuclear arms race between China and Japan, which will absolutely fucking happen. And then you look at, who are the two other countries in that region that have been pointing nukes at each other over the last couple of decades? Well, that would be India and Pakistan. And who's been standing in the middle keeping the peace? That would be the United States. So there's two more countries aiming nukes at each other because the U.S. shrinks in its role on the world stage. Then you got Russia and everyone else, Transylvania to fucking Poland under the gun. If you don't think they're going to start arming up in arms races, be it nuclear or conventional, again, you're a moron. That's exactly what's going to fucking happen. Now, this is not for me. This is not me arguing for the United States to be the world police. This is me just painting you a very vivid, clear picture of the negative possibilities that could come from the fruit of Joe Biden's mumbling, bumbling houseplant choices. Okay? It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Now, look, as much as I dislike Joe Biden, I want the guy to be successful in, securing the United States. I want the guy to do well at good things. Unfortunately, he's not even trying to do good things, and he's doing bad things, and he's doing them poorly because he's incompetent. I mean, that's not even debatable. That's not even a fucking stretch. That's absolutely 100% factual. And the reason, I have to go back to this because I think it's pertinent, the reason why this utter feckless, incompetent failure is in office is because a whole bunch of Americans are utterly feckless, incompetent failures at life, guided solely by their emotions and not by common sense, reason, or logic, which is why he's in office to begin with. So there's that. We get the government we deserve. And unfortunately, we're going to hand our kids a world they don't deserve. A world that is far more dangerous, a world that is far more impoverished, and it's kind of sad. So that's my take on what's going on today. And I really think it's kind of sad that, more media is not talking about it honestly like they should. I mean, they're more worried about the racist Kyle Rittenhouse who shot 3 black guys, right? I mean, if you're listening to the leftist media, he was down there with a Klan hood shooting black guys. He didn't shoot 3 white scumbags, right? But that's what everyone's slap fighting about. It's fucking pathetic. In any case, that's all I have for today. Happy Saturday. This video is sponsored by go buy yourself some beans, bullets, and Band-Aids because you're probably going to need them. Right, Zip? Yeah.